Hello, friends. Welcome to the Virgo reading for November. Okay, all right. This is the basic reading. We are using the Rider-Waite deck for the main message, and I have an oracle deck that I'll use for a quick bit of advice. The decks today keep trying to pop out like 5 or 10 at once. We're not doing that. Let's go for one more. Or 2, that's fine. So we have 5 cards out. Usually I shoot for 3, but this is what we got. So just scanning really quickly, this is an interesting set of cards. There's a little bit of calling you out, so don't shoot the messenger. Just remember too, take which parts of the message resonate for you and leave the rest. That's totally okay. That happens in these general readings where some parts are meant for you and some parts aren't. Not all of it can relate to every single person, so you have to be discerning. But also, don't dismiss a message just because it's uncomfortable or just because you don't want to hear it. That doesn't mean that it's not for you. There can sometimes be uncomfortable truths, and that's the part that I love most about tarot, is when it can call us out and show us things that maybe we've been ignoring or pushing to the side. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. We have the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords that came out in reverse. Both came out together, though. It's an interesting, I want to say dichotomy. I don't know if that's the right word that I'm looking for here. But the King of Pentacles is like security. It's like having stability in your home, in your career, in the material aspects of your life. You're comfortable and you're in a place where all of it is maintainable. So you're not worried about losing any of those particular things. On the other hand, the King of Swords in reverse can kind of be this manipulative energy. And sometimes we do that when there's an underlying fear of losing things, even though it doesn't look like we will. So maybe you tend to get a little bit manipulative in certain situations with certain people. And I have a feeling that whoever that message is for, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You might have gotten comfortable lately in telling little white lies. Not that they're especially problematic in themselves, but in these kinds of settings, there really shouldn't be a reason to lie. So it's kind of a warning, I guess, to check in with your integrity and your honesty and see where you might have been faltering in that lately. That's that calling out I was talking about. Then we have the Seven of Swords. In the reverse, there's 2 sides to it, okay? The first is being a little challenged in your mental space. So whether that means like having conflicting thoughts, maybe about where you want to go with your life, or things that might be happening right now. There's a certain level of confusion that might be present, or another side of mental challenge that I can see is possible here is you fighting with yourself. And that part in particular goes right back to this, because this king is 100% truthful, very much comfortable with telling anyone what they need to hear, when they need to hear it, no matter if it is the most comfortable thing to be saying. But the King of Swords, that other little piece in you right now, knows that he might be able to go a little bit further if he smooths over the truth a little bit, or omits the totality of the truth. Keeps out little pieces here and there, right? Makes it a little less palatable for whoever they're talking to. And that can create challenges in your mental space, because then you have to keep all of it straight. No matter how small the lie, there's always that chance that it can be exposed. And it can happen in a lot easier ways than you think. You might be talking about something totally unrelated, and then just this little detail comes up, and the person that you had been, let's say, omitting to, puts the pieces together, and they're like, hold on, you told me this before. Or, you didn't tell me that. Why? What's going on? So, yeah, sometimes we find ourselves doing these like mental jumping jacks jumping jacks isn't what I'm thinking. Cartwheels? I don't know. Somersaults? But jumping through all these different little hoops, and it can feel like we're a little bit scattered. So you're putting yourself through that unnecessarily and making things just that little bit harder for yourself. Finally, we have the Tower paired with the Fool in reverse. Now the Tower, we know, well, it's a big change. It's usually sudden, could be sporadic. So there's definitely those elements present. Now, for some of you, I feel like this is kind of looking forward, and it's all of this energy coming out in a way that, yeah, that person that you've been kind of bending things with is going to find out, and it's going to blow up on you. So that might be true for some of you. On the other hand, those sudden changes aren't always so negative. It could just be what opens up that next chapter for you. Now, is that going to be comfortable? The Tower usually signals that it's not. But it's not all bad. So I don't want you to think that or be worried. Now the Fool in reverse, that can kind of be like, I want to say like resisting that new beginning, or just putting yourself on pause. And that can happen, especially if we're not telling the whole truth. Sometimes we hide those little bits of truth from ourselves too. Like we omit them, or we tell those little white lies enough so that we start to believe them. And if that blows up in your face, you're going to have to stick where you're at for a little while to kind of sort through the rubble. So there might be a delay in starting that new chapter. You know what I mean? So there's a few ways that can play out, but that's what I'm seeing there. I feel a little bit all over the place in this reading, but I always keep this faith that whoever the messages are for, it will reach, and they'll be discerning enough to know which parts are for them. So I will keep that faith. Let's see what kind of advice we have for you today. No, that's 10. We're not doing 10 cards. Okay. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So this is pointing directly for me to that manipulation piece. The advice I'm hearing is look at why you feel the need to manipulate the situation or the person. What's causing you to tell those little white lies or to tell those half-truths? Whatever it looks like for you in your situation, take a look at what is at the core of what's going on. Is it because you don't trust that person? Is it because of your own insecurities that have been built up by people not really staying in your life? Maybe it's time for therapy in that case. I think everyone should be in therapy, but that's a whole nother side discussion. But the whole point is you want to feel whatever feelings are tied to all of this that's going on so that you can understand yourself and the situation a little bit better and get to the bottom of what's really going on. Okay? So, with that, I think I'll wrap up the basic reading here. I hope that you got at least one helpful nugget there. And if you are at all interested, there will be an extended reading posted over on Patreon. So that's already available right now. I tried to keep the cost pretty low for everyone. So check it out if you feel so inclined. And regardless, I hope to read for you again soon. Love ya. Bye.